This podcast is part of the Pod Syndicate family. For more criminally compelling shows, articles, and conversations, head to wearepodsyndicate.com.
Two men journey to the bars and restaurants of Scandinavia to find amazing beers, always with the same question.
Hey, what's on tap?
It's time to find out.
What's on Tap podcast. And I'm your host, Stefan.
I'm your co-host, Martin.
And this is a very special episode.
It's very special indeed.
Because?
Because we counted.
We did. Well, you counted.
I counted because you Stefan can't count.
I don't care enough to count.
It seems like this that you're
Let's
listening
do
to.
everything else on this show. I can't bother counting as well.
He doesn't do anything on the show, really. After counting, it seems like this that you're now listening to is my 100th episode.
I know.
Of What's on Tap podcast.
And that's very exciting.
That is exciting.
And we're also only, I think, 4 to 5 weeks away from episode 300.
Cool.
That's
going to be cool.
That's very exciting. Can't believe we've got 300 episodes in.
So you should have waited with making me the co-host so that those two could align.
If only we had thought we'd be around for 300 episodes. It's the exciting part.
I'm predicting 1,000 episodes. Wow. So I'm predicting it now, and when it comes true, we can point back to this moment in time and go, yeah, Martin knew it all along. He's counting the years. Let's
only 7 years from now.
Yeah. We will all be dead by then. A meteor will have hit the Earth.
Some virus will wipe this out by then.
Or a meteor.
Yes.
Yeah. The ozone layer will just leave, say, I'm going to hang out with Mars now.
Probably.
Sorry. Yeah. So it seems like Stefan has brought out 2 beers to treat me with because it's my 100th episode.
I did.
So I deserve to be praised and lauded with beers and applause.
With 2 barrel-aged beers.
I do love beer barrels.
One is a barrel-aged stout, and the other one's a barrel-aged brown ale. So we'll do the Zwarte Snorre Twins Imperial Stout, barrel-aged on Aberlour whiskey barrels. And if you hear Martin snickering at Zwarte Snorre, it's because it's slang for black penis in Swedish. So we're very excited about getting some rich black cock in our mouth tonight.
Yes. I'm expecting it to be very thick and
it's boozy.
With long mouthfeel.
It's very boozy, I'll give you that.
It's a boozy aroma with some barrel notes.
It's a little smoky. I mean, it's kind of a...
Yeah, did you say that it was the Aberlour?
Aberlour whiskey barrel.
I've had a lot of Aberlour through the years.
All right. I don't know that I probably had Aberlour at some point in my life, but I could not tell you what it tastes like. All right. Well, cheers. Yeah, it's
quite boozy.
It's quite boozy. It's lightly smoked. Just a little bit of... I didn't think it was that boozy.
It is quite boozy. The flavor.
Yeah.
It tastes like vodka vapors.
Kind of, yeah. There's a lot of like licorice and chocolate and roasted malt notes in the end. It's got a really nice aftertaste to it. If I didn't know better, I would think this may have licorice actually in it because there's a pretty, I think, strong licorice flavor in the aftertaste at first.
Yeah. Yeah, the booziness and the barrel thing, it's almost salty. Not just licorice, but salty. Mm-hmm. Oh.
Yeah.
That's quite interesting. I don't really know where to place that on the scale.
It's a tricky one.
Yeah.
Because it's almost so boozy to kind of almost be medicinal.
Yeah.
It's pretty... Like on the second sip, it kind of felt a little almost like cough syrup.
I'm getting a bit of that as well. So disclaimer, I've had 5 of the beers in this series, but never this one. And some have been really boring and some have been quite good. This is on the upper scale because it has a lot of stuff going on that just immediately increases it from boring.
Yeah. I wouldn't say it's great. I would say it's, I don't know, maybe it needs to decant a little bit more. I kind of feel like if you let it sit out for maybe 5 minutes or so, the alcohol vapors that are really strong in the bottle would decant off of it some.
You want to swing back to it before?
I think I want to swing back to it before we give a rating, because I can't decide if I like it or hate it.
Yeah.
It's one of those. So I think it needs to sit for a little bit and air out some.
But before we go into the next beer and before we go to like a commercial break, 100 episodes. I hope that means that you're at least moderately happy with me as a co-host.
Look, I'm not saying I haven't been looking for a replacement for 100 weeks or anything.
But no one else wants to hang out with you.
No one else. I can't bribe anyone else to hang out with me. So
because my mom is already paying me to hang out with you. Your mom, damn, I messed that joke up. Your mom is paying me to hang out with you. No,
anyway, not going to make a mom joke. Yeah, no, I've been really enjoyed the past. At least the past year, or a little over a year at this point, of doing the podcast with you, and I can't believe it's been 100 episodes. It goes really, really fast.
Yeah. So we checked it out, and 2017 was the first year I was in. One episode only, as a guest visitor talking about queuing for Belgian beer in Denmark. So that was fun. And then 2018, I was in like 8 or 9 or 10 episodes, something like that.
Right towards the end of the year.
Yeah.
Matthias started to fade out a little bit. Yeah.
And then 2019
that was the year of Martin.
Madness. The year of the Martin.
Yes. And 2020 looks to continue that trend.
Looks good.
Yeah.
It's been a lot of fun. We've had a lot of beers.
Yeah, we have.
And we will have this exact same discussion when we have the episode number 300.
We will. And that'll be interesting. I'm looking forward to that. We won't say what's going to happen, but we have something special planned for that episode.
No spoilers.
No spoilers. All right. Well, let's take a break, and then we'll come back and we'll try the next beer.
Don't go anywhere.
Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, and welcome to Film Bastards, a podcast where 3 friends, 2 of them married and 2 of them podcasting life partners, chat everything from new releases, trailers, news, and an eclectic mix of other film goodies. Oh, and many, many, many tangents. You can find them by searching your podcast provider, or check them out on Twitter and Instagram by searching Film Bastards. You never know, you might like it, and if you don't, well, we don't really give a Y'all remember me? Y'all remember me?
Have you ever wondered what so-called family films will scar your kids forever?
Putting 4 and 5-year-olds in front of this movie, it's like, if they didn't know what death was before this, they're going to know it after it.
They're going to know it after it, and they're going to be freaking terrified.
And they're going to be questioning you.
Yeah.
Or do you have the slight suspicion that your loved one has a cold, dead heart?
Yeah, the Dark Knight has got like all the orphans and like, oh no, we're gonna die. They did not build up those orphans at all. In my head, it's like, kill them.
Then look no further. The His Film Her Movie podcast is the show for you. It's the movie podcast that celebrates the contrasting cinematic tastes of its hosts. So join Jordan and Lauren every week on their unique journey through the land of the silver screen. So if you're looking for a few laughs, some fun film-related chat, then get involved. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, or wherever you get your podcasts.
All right, so we're back from break, and we're moving on to the next beer. It is... You can tell us what it is.
It's from a brewery I've never had any beers from. It's from Salama Brewing, and it's their Extravaganza BBA Imperial Vanilla Brown. A real circus of a beer, apparently. It says so on the can.
Yes.
The can, you'll have to see the picture. It's a bleeding skull with a big brain popping out on the top.
And do we say where they're from? I think they're Finnish.
What?
Yep,
I
they're
did
from
look.
Espoo, Finland.
Oh, Espoo.
Yeah, and both of these beers tonight come in at 11% ABV.
So it's actually Salama Extravaganza.
Yes, you have to say it in the downtones.
Yes.
Yes.
That's how Finnish works. I am happy today.
I'm just confused because there's not 5 I's in this word, so I don't understand how it's finished.
Norwegian, on the other hand, always goes up at the end. I am so depressed. That's how you know the difference.
I love the fact that it's an imperial brown ale aged in bourbon barrels, then blended with a touch of fresh beer.
It smells like candy when you compare it to the Zwarte Snorre.
It does. It smells very sweet and candyish.
Like candy sugar, brown sugar.
Yeah.
Is that the same?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can be. All right. Cheers.
Cheers. It has a better mouthfeel.
Yeah, for sure.
Now looking back at the Zwarte, it's not as thick, and when it comes to a black Snorre, it should be thicker. They always should be. Mm-hmm. But there is a clear difference to the mouthfeel of these two beers.
Truly, I mean, this definitely is a brown ale. You're getting that. There's a lot of, you said, brown sugar and vanilla coming off of this.
Malts that I would associate more with a brown ale than a stout.
Yeah. I don't get a lot of the barrel aging on this, other than a kind of a booziness, but I don't see what the barrel aging is bringing to the game, honestly.
No.
Really not much of anything.
No, I agree.
If anything, instead of making it like a rounder beer, it's kind of made it a little harsher in the finish, I think.
A bunch of vanilla beans?
Yep.
I'm not feeling...
It's a touch of fresh beer with a bunch of vanilla beans.
Yeah, but I would say that in the flavor, it's a touch of vanilla beans. It's not a bunch of vanilla beans.
Well, I
I'm
mean, it depends on how they're quantifying a bunch. It could be a bunch they had in their hand.
Yeah, a bunch could be like 5 vanilla beans for an entire batch. You know how I love vanilla in stouts and imperial brown ales and everything dark. And I'm not getting my full vanilla hit here.
I think it's a problem is there's not a huge vanilla note. There's a little bit of vanilla on it, but it's not like you would expect the vanilla to really shine through on this.
Yes.
Especially if you're doing, on bourbon barrels with vanilla, it should be pretty mellow and vanilla forward. But this is not in any way.
It has a longer and maybe better aftertaste than the Black Snorre.
I agree. I think I like the aftertaste on this much more. It's got it's a little more rounded. It's not quite as boozy. It doesn't taste like cough medicine. Although this one's the Zwarte Snorre is getting much more. I think the Aberlour flavor is starting to come through a little bit more, and now that's opened up a little bit. And definitely getting more of the burnt notes and the licorice in the smell.
Yeah. What's the big thing about stouts? It's roasted malts, right?
Yeah.
That's what separates them from porters.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's the biggest difference between these two beers. The Salama Extravaganza could have been a murky stout if it wasn't for the lack of roasted
For
malts.
me, at 11%, it should have been closer to a barley wine in some ways.
Maybe. This is the case. This is the problem with imperial brown ales, where I don't... Any listener who has been with us for a while knows that I do not like regular brown ales. I think they're boring and meh, and they just don't contribute anything. Imperial brown ales can really hit high ratings, but they need to approach another beer style, like you say. The imperial brown ales aged on barrels that approach barley wines, they're great.
Yeah.
Or the ones that flirt with stout flavors.
No.
Yeah, I like that.
You like the stout flavors more? Or the barley wine?
Both. They're like on each side of the original brown ale flavor.
As long as it's not like a brown ale.
Yes, this is truth.
Okay.
I do like the extravaganza more than the Svarte Snorre.
I don't know. I'm kind of like... So the Svarte Snorre is kind of weird. Like, if I just take a sip... It's like a little bit. The first sip is really good. And then if I take a little more water, I take another sip, it works out really well. But if I take 2 sips at a time...
Now we're into sip science.
Then it just becomes like boozy, cough syrupy kind of flavors.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about these 2 beers now. I really want to finish the glass of Salama, but I don't really want to finish the glass of Zwarte Snorre Aberlour.
I don't either.
Like, what? Is the secret to drink water in between each sip of the Zwarte Snorre? Because that's a very unique tip we've given the listeners.
Maybe it's like whiskey where you need to add just a little water to it to activate more of the flavors.
I highly doubt that.
You don't think so? I think it's a secret. That was like with the. If only we could read Dutch, we would know exactly what we're supposed to do here.
Oh, is it? This is always fun. No, this doesn't describe the beer at all. This just describes the brewery.
All right. What about the other side?
Ingredients, type, name. Dit zwarte bier blijft door het romige karakter lekker op je lippen liggen. I'm great at Dutch.
All right. Well, I think we can.
We
can rate these.
We've now alienated all of our Dutch listeners.
Yes, all 5 of them.
Sorry. Paul, Jan. Jan is a common name.
It is.
Yes. And stuff like that. Yeah. Let's rate the beers.
All right. So what do you get the Zwarte Snorre?
A weak 3.75.
I'm going to give it a weak 3.5.
Yeah.
All right. And the Extravaganza Bourbon Barrel Aged Imperial Vanilla Brown.
A 4 out of 5.
I'll give it a 3.75.
Once again, Stefan is a cheapskate.
No,
you're just honest. You're correct.
I think there's also something a little like I really want to like the Extravaganza, but it's just something that's like a little off. There's just something that's not quite hitting it for me.
I was just going to say, I think I really want to like the Extravaganza. I'm actually looking for the parts of it that I do like.
Yeah.
If it was a brewery I already were like meh about, I think it would get a lower rating.
Yeah, I think so too.
It's mind games.
Yeah, and I think that's my problem with this one as well. It's like I really want to like it, but at the same time, there's not really that one thing that makes me like cling on to it and like really like root for this beer and like really enjoy it.
Yeah. But this is the reason I'm not a beer judge.
Yeah.
I was asked, Martin, why aren't you a beer judge? Because I am really subjective about some beers.
It's like I can't be objective.
No.
It's either hot trash or it's amazing.
Yes.
I'm kind of the same.
Heaven or hell, black or white.
Yep.
And now not black Snorre, other black.
Yes. All right. So you can find us online at what'sontappodcast.com. Instagram, Facebook, iTunes, Spotify.
Smoke Signals on the Prairie.
We are Pod Syndicate. And wherever you find great podcasts online, you can find What's on Tap Podcast.
Like Smoke Signals on the Prairie.
All right, so until next time.
Keep drinking, you dum-dum. Drink up, you dum-dum? What's the little slogan?
Keep drinking, you dum-dum. You think after 100 episodes you got that shit down, but no. You keep fucking it up.
Didn't I get it on the first try now?
But then you second-guessed yourself, so it negated all of your...
100 episodes for nothing!
Yep. I'm sorry. We're going to have to... You're not going to make 101.
Oh no, goodbye listeners.
This podcast is part of the Pod Syndicate family. For more criminally compelling shows, articles, and conversations, head to wearepodsyndicate.com.